The JN Foundation is an outreach nonprofit arm of the Jamaica National Group. And with me in studio today is SAFFREY Brown, who's the General Manager of JN Foundation, to share with us some of the activities of the foundation, as well as their overall purpose. SAFFREY, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you for having us.
No problem. So share with our viewers and our members, what exactly is the Jamaica National Foundation? Can you give us an overview?
Well, the JN Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the JN Group of companies. We historically supported the work of JNBS, but over the last few years our mandate has changed and we now support the entire group because the JNBS subsidiaries are doing some really extraordinary work out there. So we're there to support them. We were founded in 1990, so we've now been around nearly 25 years. But you know, if you know the history of Jamaica National, you know that JN was founded in essence with a social mission back in the 1800s. So we're really just carrying on a long tradition of civic responsibility. Our funding comes from Jamaica National, from our subsidiaries, and from partners and other funding agencies globally. And we have four main areas that we focus on. We focus on economic and community development. We focus on youth and education, health, security, and safety. And the last one, which I always forget, is arts, culture, and heritage. So those are our four main areas. And we also focus on rural Jamaica, and rural meaning it's anything outside the Kingston metropolitan area. The reason for that is we're founded in rurality, but also that so many of the resources go to Kingston that we felt that we needed to go where there were fewer resources. So that's JN Foundation in a nutshell. We have a core team that is based at our head office in Duke Street, but we also have an office in Westmoreland. And then we have a lot of project-based staff. So as and when we do programs, we bring people on board to deliver the programs. And we also give grant funding. So we work with organizations all over Jamaica to support the work that they're doing. So yeah, that's the foundation in a nutshell.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
Yes, well, I could have gone on and on, huh? Just letting you know.
That's exciting. No, it's exciting to hear about all the various areas in which the Jamaica National Foundation is involved. Do you have any recent projects or activities that you'd like to share with our members, just to give them an idea of things that are going on right now at the JN Foundation? Yeah,
I mean, we have really exciting programs. Some of the programs come from members themselves. We have a great national volunteer program called Action Jamaica, and we started that program because people kept asking us, members and friends of JN kept asking us how they could get involved. They wanted to volunteer, they wanted to do something, and we realized there was such a demand that we really needed to develop a program for that. So we have Action Jamaica, and we use those, our volunteers come on board to not just support the programs that we do, but to support organizations all across Jamaica that may not know how to access volunteers or set up their own volunteer program. So we do a lot of sort of capacity building and support for regular agencies across Jamaica. An interesting one that is one of our flagship projects that we're very proud of is the Member Advisory Council. And the Member Advisory Council is actually run by our members in our branches, where they come in, they become part of the council, and then they decide which projects in their community get funding. So it's part of kind of them being able to give back to their communities. One of the benefits of being a member at JN is that you can decide where money goes to make your community better. That project has been around nearly 10 years now. It goes from strength to strength, and it's something that empowers members, empowers local communities, and affects change at a localized level, because the idea is that we on Duke Street don't know what Junction in St. Elizabeth needs as much as the members who live in Junction St. Elizabeth. So why should they not have a say in the resourcing of their community? So that's a Member Advisory Council. Another interesting project is Resolution Project. For anybody who's flown out of Jamaica in the last 6 months, we have got all the airports on lockdown. We have a great exhibition at Sangsters, and we have a great exhibition at Norman Manley. And Resolution Project is a photo advocacy project where young people from all over Jamaica take photos of things that are important to them. And it shows that young people believe very much in the preservation of Jamaica culture. They believe very much in the downtrodden and people with disabilities, and supporting the overall development of Jamaica. We often behave like we think that they have no real care in the world, that all they want to do is listen to, you know, youth-based music and go and party, and that's not true. A lot of them want to get involved, they want to have a voice, and Resolution Project allows them to have that voice. And because of these extraordinary photos that they do, led by our chief photography volunteer, which is Stuart Reeves, they've had exhibitions all over the world now. We've had exhibitions in New York and in the UK, in Canada, and as I said, we're at the permanent exhibitions. We now have a permanent exhibition in Germany, and this is work that they're getting out there. So that's another really interesting project. If I were to go to, because I could go on, and I know that you only have a specific slot, but the other big project I would talk about would be the Social Enterprise Boost Initiative. So in all the work that we do, we try to look at sustainability, and community groups and organizations across Jamaica who have great programming and great service delivery have huge issues with sustainability. Grant funders change direction, money dries out, and suddenly they can't provide their services anymore. So we had actually developed a social enterprise called The Source. We did the first one in Augustown. We've now done 5 across Jamaica, the most recent one in Savannah, Lamar. And in essence, a social enterprise is a for-profit with not-for-profit aims business. So it's really about an NGO or charity developing a business model to generate income so it can pay for itself. So having done The Source, we realized that there was no infrastructure in place for the sector, and that the government couldn't do everything. The private sector couldn't do everything, and you needed that third sector, and you needed to grow and boost and support that third sector. So we developed the Social Enterprise Boost Initiative, which is a project we're doing with USAID. So it's a 3-year project which aims to 3 key objectives: make social enterprises efficient businesses, create an enabling environment, and improve the public's awareness of and attitude towards social enterprises. Great program, and we expect it to be one of those infrastructural change programs that really changes the landscape and how things are done. So those are some of the key ones. I could go on and on and on because, as you know, JN is involved in a lot, and JN is everywhere, but I won't take up all your airtime.
Well, thank you so much for what you've shared so far. I think that what you've shared shows a lasting impact that certain social activities, especially the projects that you've done through the Jamaica National Foundation, can have, not only across Jamaica, but locally within persons' communities.
And I think the other thing for us is we have a responsibility to our members. We are, in essence, spending our members' money to make Jamaica better, and we have to do it in a sustainable way. And if we don't do it in a sustainable way, then we're not being responsible with their funds. So that's something that we take very seriously when determining the kind of programming that we do and or support.
Awesome. So you mentioned Action Jamaica, you mentioned advocacy for and encouraging volunteerism. As we think of Labor Day approaching in May, how would you encourage members outside of participating in their local groups or the member advisory council? How can you encourage members in the branch today to link with JN Foundation and volunteer, get out there, get involved with some of the activities that the Jamaica National Group is involved with in terms of volunteering?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, Jamaica is one of the most civic-minded societies in the world. We say that some great things to do with Jamaica are athletes and our music. But another great thing is that Jamaicans are very civic-minded. Everybody's involved in something within their community. And our members are probably prime examples of socially responsible Jamaicans. So we know that our members are out there on Labor Day in their communities, in other communities, but they're also out there most other weekends, doing a lot of work, weekdays, things that we'll never hear about. So I think that, for members who want to try something different, they can contact us at Action Jamaica. For members who maybe want support, if they're doing something and they need a little support within their communities and they need us to mobilize volunteers for them, then contact us and let's see if we can get people mobilized to support what the members themselves are doing. And not just on Labor Day, but thereafter, Last year we had dozens and dozens of members coming out all over Jamaica with the branches. We had some great members in Savannah, Lamar coming out with Canute Simpson. We had Edison Taylor out there in the east with a number of other great members. But all across Jamaica, our members mobilize every Labor Day, and we just want to support them each year more and more to do what it is they do.
Thank you very much, SAFFREY. In closing, there are persons in the diaspora who may be viewing, there are persons locally who want to connect with JN Foundation via social media or otherwise. Can you share with our viewers how can they link with you, either to help volunteer or to support financially? How can they make that connection? Right.
So we are very clued into the e-world. So we have a website, jnfoundation.com, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. and they can come and see a lot of our work there. They can communicate with us. As I said, that's why we started the volunteer program, because people on Facebook kept saying, what can we do, what can we do? So we're very responsive. We believe that the social media is a communication tool, not a announcement tool. So we use it to communicate back and forth. And then most recently, we developed an app. I don't know what possessed me, but I sat in my living room and made an app for the JN Foundation, which you can get on the App Store and on Google Play. JN Foundation, one word, and you'll be able to find out what are some of the activities that are coming up, what we're doing. You can get to all our social media from there, and volunteers can also find out what the upcoming volunteer opportunities are and register for volunteering activities. You can also register for the mailing list. So I would say download the app. You can also read the Gleaner, the Observer, anything to do with Jamaica, you're going to be able to find on our app. So that's one way to stay in touch with us. And then it also links to the group companies, so JNBS and JN Fund Managers, JNSBL, JNGI. It links to those. So download the app.
And it's available on the Android platform?
Yeah, so App Store and Google Play, JN Foundation, one word.
Thank you very much, SAFFREY Brown, General Manager of JN Foundation. I'm sure our members are well informed by all the information you shared and also motivated to get connected with JN Foundation to continue the good work that you've started. And thank you for joining us for another episode of JNTV Spotlight. At JNBS, we'll help you find a way.